Good morning. Welcome to Woodland Chapel this morning. It's so good to see you and all of you who are watching online, and welcome to you too. We love you and include you in this community. And I'm so excited when I look at our little stats, how many people do watch us online. And hoping that people who are far away get to have church every day. So I wanted to begin the service. Well, we do our announcements, but I wanted to begin by reading on the front of your bulletin is our purpose statement, and I want to read it. We're here promoting spirit-centered living by teaching principles that heal the mind and body, expand prosperity, and nurture relationships in an inclusive, joyous community. And I love that. And so I like to remind myself of that every week. But I have a little one that's short and easy to remember. Healing hearts, empowering lives. I realize when I wake up and I start to do something, that's what comes to me that I am about. So, I know there is someone here for the first time. Welcome. Glad you're here. And downstairs, now I haven't been downstairs, so I hope that I'm speaking the truth, that we usually have snacks that are quite yummy, and coffee, so please join us downstairs afterwards so we can get to know you if you're inclined to do that. And there is a card that is golden, and I thought I had one up here, but I don't. In front of you, if you want to stay connected, we'd be happy to put you on. We have a weekly connection. Yeah, golden rod specifically. So we can stay connected. And our prayer, there's also a form for prayers there. And I want to have more classes on prayer because, wow, you guys, prayer does work. And I'm not going to go, I'm going to end up with a sermon on prayer. But do allow us to pray with you. It is our privilege. It's confidential. You don't even have to put your name on that because I'm absolutely assured that Spirit knows who you are. There's some things on the back of your bulletin. Do take them home and notice what is going on. And we're going to have more and more activities we've got planned. We've just kind of been moving into our new iteration of Woodland Chapel since January and have a lot of things planned that we hope serve you, because that is what this chapel is here to do, to serve each one of us in awakening to this deep inner spirit so that our life flows for us. And one thing I do want to announce finally, we have dates and times for our Shortcut to a Miracle, which is a class I have done years ago here, and it's not complicated, it's not deep philosophy, it's simple and easy to understand. I invite you to sign up for it. Okay, so I forgot the sign-up sheet. So Paul says, just write one. I said, but it'll be ugly. And so maybe I'll just put a piece of paper out there. And for those of you who are interested in the class, just sign up your name and your email or whatever else you want to share with that. But it's really good class. Cheryl Ostrander, who will do the prayer this morning, is going to share that with me as facilitators of that. So the information is on the back of your bulletin. You'll be getting more information about that, but it's really a cool class. On Tuesday nights, I wanted to do it Sunday afternoon, but we are just so busy around here on Sunday afternoons. Also, I just want to remind us to hold Reverend Don in prayer. He had surgery the 17th, St. Patrick's Day, so I'm going to know that he had the luck of the Irish with him, and that he will be doing well and be here soon. I hope by Easter. We'll see. But anyway, he's doing better.
Taking it easy. We're taking care of them all.
Yeah. So, yeah, there's a lot So just hold him in your prayer. And also, you guys, if there's anybody else, because things happen in our lives, and you don't show up when they do, and we don't know that you may need prayer and support. So if there's someone here that you know that does need that, please let us know so that we can be engaged in supporting you, however way that we can do that. Okay, so is that enough announcements? Yeah. Okay, so welcome, Peter LeClaire. We're so glad to have you this morning. All right, so shall we stand?
Sure.
And just
as you're able.
Be filled with joy.
Sure, sounds good. From the banjo kind of morning here today. I've got the joy. I've got the joy. Down in my heart. Down in my heart. I've got the joy. I've got the joy.
invite you to join me as I turn within and acknowledge that prayer, that light, that awesome power that is growing within me. And as it is in me, it is in each one of us here today, and those who are not with us in this room. I know that it reaches out. It reaches out and it grows. And it is the energy behind that prayer and that light that fills this room today and lifts us up. I know there are many, many folks here that embrace that, and I honor that, and I welcome that, and I know that each of us in our own way is reaching out for light and love. I know that is the primary purpose for our being here today, is to share that love. The words, the music, all the inspiration that fills this room. I know that this service is unfolding perfectly as it forms itself by human hands who hold the Spirit. I'm grateful to know that this is true. I'm grateful to be with each of you today. I'm grateful to know that this power is who I am meant to be. So I release these simple words, knowing they are done as spoken. And as always, through grace, so much more. And I invite you to join me in saying, and so it is. A little overwhelmed today with the energy in this room, with the power in this room. Seeing all these faces of God. Please join me in this group affirmation. You'll find it in blue in your program. In this peaceful moment, as I release distractions from my mind, I know lessons are all around me. So I look and I listen and I'm blessed. And so it is.
Good morning. I'm going to turn the light off here. Ernest Holmes says, "Within us is the unborn possibility of limitless experience. Ours is the privilege of giving birth to it. There is a power in this universe that is always working for your good. It is bigger than any problem you will ever face. And here's the best part. You can use it right now, today, just as you are. Your destiny is not something that lands on you from the outside. It grows from the inside, from the thoughts you think, the words you speak, and the love you choose to give. You are not here by accident. You are here on purpose, with a purpose. And you have the power to shape the life you are meant to live. But let's be honest, life isn't always easy. There are hard days. There are losses. There are times when things fall apart and you wonder, what went wrong? In those moments, it's easy to feel stuck or afraid. Here is what Spirit wants you to know. Nothing has gone wrong. Every hard thing you have been through has been teaching you something. Every struggle has been building something in you. Strength, wisdom, or a deeper kind of love. The tough times are not the enemy of your destiny. They are part of the path to it. When you start to see your hard times as lessons instead of losses, everything changes. You stop feeling like life is happening to you, and you start knowing that life is happening for you. You begin to ask new questions. Not, why me? But what is this teaching me? How is this helping me grow? That shift is powerful. That shift is where your freedom lives. You are not a bystander in your own story. You are the one holding the pen, and I forgot my pen. Every kind of thought, every brave choice, every moment you decide to keep going, that is you creating your destiny. That is you saying yes to the life that is waiting for you. The lessons are the blessings. This is the title of Reverend Julie's message this morning. Say yes to the lessons. Say yes to the blessings. Say yes to you. And as always, we have a bonus affirmation. If you'd like to repeat after me, you're welcome to. I trust that my life is unfolding exactly as it should. Every challenge I face is teaching me something I need to know. I am strong, guided, and never alone on this journey. I choose to see my lessons as blessings in disguise. I am the creator of my destiny, and the best is yet to come. And so it is.
You who are on the road,
Peter, thank you so much for this morning. I just feel such good energy. And this morning, the energy felt bad. I don't, what's the word?
That's the one that's
Yeah.
together.
It felt unusual this morning, and I feel energy a lot. And so I walked in, and Cheryl and I had prayers before the service. And I wanted to pray about energy field because, you know, the entire universe is a big energy field. Everything is energy. Even in our cells, we have little factories of energy, our mitochondria. And this energy we can feel, and we feel when the energy is low in our bodies. And many of us have worked with energy healing. And so, you know, our lessons here are very mental. You know, we're kind of a mental, well, I didn't mean it that way, but we are intellectually, let me say it that way. We tend to think on ideas because, I mean, our teaching is change your thinking, change your life. So we talk a lot about thinking. What I would like is to do, invite you to feel something today, because the other powerful part, more powerful probably than anything, is how we feel and experience. We talk about things that change our life and how we can change our life, and that's important because we're on planet Earth to do that. But there is a presence, and I want to talk about that more today, that is felt. And that is the bottom line for us to be in. We talk about oneness, to be in the oneness with that presence. And Peter, would you do the song again? So beautiful. Peter wrote it. Come and pray with me.
Yeah.
And I just invite you to close your eyes and just breathe deeply and sing. Well, I don't know if you can sing the song and close your eyes at the same time, but whatever suits you. But breathe deeply and allow the feeling of this presence this morning to penetrate your heart. This energy field, as we were really focused on the energy field in here, because as the energy is transformative, as it lifts us up, we become more in alignment with the higher vibrational field. So can we do that together again? I thought this was very powerful.
Come and pray with me. Come and pray with me. Come and pray with me. Come on down to the river with me and say a prayer. Meditate
where there is a power and a presence that I'm calling this morning a benevolent presence that is in and through all of us, is with us, for us. Always in relationship with us. As we open our hearts to experience that, to know it more deeply, to be more conscious. Namaste. So my purpose today in this talk, lessons are blessings, and we've been working with wake-up calls all month, is for us to connect with an inner presence that is ever seeking our good, and with whom we are in relationship whether we know it or not. And when I was in, didn't matter what church I was in, whether I was in the Baptist church, and God knows I loved them all, by the way, but they were always taking away from my pleasures. You shouldn't dance, or you shouldn't do this, or there were a lot of things you shouldn't do, and some of them were really you shouldn't do. But there were lots of shouldn't do's. And then when I became a Catholic, the idea, and granted I was in convent schools and convents, so was to embrace the suffering of Jesus. And if we were too hot, just offer it up as a way to suffer, because suffering was holy. So when I was introduced to Ernest Holmes, and Ernest Holmes said, life is not just something to be endured, it is to be lived in joy, in a fullness without limit. I was like, wow, that resonates with my heart. Because I don't believe we were born to suffer, but in our wake-up calls, we're going to see that we do. That we do. And Ernest Holmes says it's because of ignorance. In ignorance, we live in bondage because of what we don't know. And it is through the knowledge of spirit, through spiritual principles, through knowledge, that we are freed. That we are freed. And sometimes, as often as not, it is through wake-up calls, through lessons, is it not? How nice it would be able to learn because we were told so. But, so, wake-up calls are not a punishment. And I'm going to claim that they are a blessing. I'm going to claim that. And what I really want us to understand is that spirit. Could you feel a little bit of it this morning? And when we get out of our head and we begin, in meditation or whatever it is, that we begin to feel that spirit. Because I believe, through experience, that we all have that. Call it what you may, a guardian angel, spirit, God, our soul, benevolent presence. Call it Jesus. Call it Buddha. Call it whatever it is that speaks to you. And you read something, you hear something, and you know for you it is true. Now, what is true for me may not be true for you in this moment. There is ultimate truth, but we're all on our individual path. We are all where we are. And so where I am on this path may be in a different place on that mountain. And so there are lots of ways. But when it is true for us, it will resonate. And I was at Powell's bookstore. How many of you have ever gone to Powell's bookstore? I mean, yes. Is it not like the very best place? It was, for me, like if it was an addiction and I could not go in there for a long time. I would grab books and then I'd go to the coffee shop, and I think, okay. And my heart would be beating, seriously. And so I'd sit down and I think, you got to go through these books. You can't take them all home. And so I had a process, and I honestly finally have got over my addiction because I can order them. But I was down there one day, and I was in the spiritual section, of course, and this book just was, I don't know why I picked it up. It was a youth book. It was actually printed in 1909, the first edition. Ralph Waldo Trine. And I opened it up, and it said this: the great central fact in human life, in your life and in mine, is the coming into consciousness, vital realization of our oneness with the infinite life. And opening ourselves fully to that divine flow. For in this, all else is included. And that spoke to me so much, I felt like dancing. And of course, I bought the book, and I go back to it periodically, this ultimate wisdom. So, the book's called In Tune with the Infinite, and I love that. I even made it a password on our internet, and the family cursed me for years. And then we changed companies, and I got to change the password. But I love that, In Tune with the Infinite. For that is what I think we're about. This in tune it implies an energy experience, to be in tune with something, to resonate as. I love that so much. So, what are the ways that Spirit guides us to good if it's with us? And Ernest Holmes is saying our life is for good and for joy. And so what are the ways? And I want to explore today 2 ways. And the first, of course, is our wake-up calls. Therapist Eric Allenbaugh said this, simply stated, there are 2 strategies to awakening, and you might recognize them. The traumatic commitment. And the other one is conscious commitment. And what happens for us is a significant emotional event or a wake-up call pervades us and requires us to view entirely differently the way we are doing things. Or if it doesn't, it will happen again, won't it? And usually it gets louder and harder for our own good. I don't like them any better than you, but I'm trying to remember. They come in different forms, and they momentarily interrupt the way we're doing things, our thoughts, our behavioral patterns. And if we pay attention, they can shift us into personal transformation. Could be a divorce, an illness, we fail a class, we lose our house keys. But each one of those events, whatever they are, whatever is happening into your life today, is offering us a blessing. And how many, I'm going to ask you to think about this, how many things that you might have thought were really bad was a springboard to a greater awareness? And we can pay attention to those, or we can hit the snooze button. I had I'm going to say that these are meaningful things, that they're divine things, and some people may call them just coincidences. They may call them plain old consequences of our behavior. But I believe there's something more being said to us. And I heard this saying, I wrote it down, it says, shovel while the piles are small. And so let me look at some of those stinky piles that we get. And I could metaphorically right now in a talk say, what is your stinky pile? because we've all got them. And they would be, most of us want to take what we perceive as the easy path, don't we? Just do it the easy way, avoiding discomfort. These will all cause us to have wake-up calls. Avoiding accountability, not finding a way to speak our truth. Or did you ever go along with something or someone and then you really resented it? Require us to get authentic. So I wanted to talk about a wake-up call I just had last week. I had a dream. You guys, I know you're just dying to hear about my dream. Do we all like to hear everybody's dreams? But about 2 nights ago, I did have this dream I want to tell you about. But the backstory is this. A few years ago, we were renovating a house, and the house had a bank up to the lawn, and it's a very rocky place. But I could visualize this beautiful bank of flowers and things. And so I have this little tool, has a pick on one side and a trowel on the other. And I literally, like Fred Flintstone, I was doing a Fred Flintstone. I literally sat there for a month picking rocks out of this bank, picking. And the upshot was that I got carpal tunnel. And, I didn't, when other people had it, I had no idea. It's like, oh, big deal, carpal tunnel, you're not going to die from it. But, yeah, it is really painful. And so the doctor said, wear braces at night on your wrists because they flop over and they pinch a nerve, and then it's really bad and you get up all night. So the braces help a lot. And I wear them every night. So about 3 nights ago, I had my braces on, but I woke up and my hands were hurting so badly. And I just thought, why are my hands hurting? I have the braces on. I got up, I got an Advil. Walking around and getting up usually helps. So finally I went back to sleep. I guess the Advil kicked in, and I had this dream. Now, did you ever have a dream where you were supposed to do something and you were unprepared? Those awful, awful dreams. Only thing worse is showing up without your clothes on somewhere. But to be not prepared. Well, I was supposed to give this talk, and there's these, people, and I don't know what to talk about. And I think, oh, you have notes. Well, I had a 3-inch pile of notes. And I went to the top and I thought, this isn't making any sense and I don't know what to say. And so I panicked and people are like, well, I guess we better leave. So don't leave. We'll get there. And then I thought, I'm just going to have to wing it. So I gave this sermon in my dream. It was a great sermon, by the way. I was quite pleased with it. And it was all about, resentment. And it went like this. If you give up resentment, and so my whole talk was about resentment. Do you get where I'm going with this? And I woke up shortly after that dream, which is why I remember the dream. But see what happened. Before I went to sleep, I said, why are my hands hurt? Oh, by the way, in the dream, I covered all the bases on what resentment can do to you. And I talked about in my sermon, in my dream, about how resentment can affect our body and our cells and all of that. So I woke up. And this one isn't even hard to figure, is it? When I ask, what is this pain all about? Because I do know that resentments can absolutely ruin our bodies. So, have you ever had that experience? And I want to challenge you here to spend some time thinking about what may be going on for you that you're totally not aware of. And there you can ask it, and you will get an answer, I promise you. So if something is not working in our life, we don't have to wait for that traumatic event to happen. We can actually ask and expect an answer. And when I look back over my life, I see the activity of this benevolent force in my life. It's always, always there. I want to, have you ever, okay, one way of experiencing this benevolent force, did you ever, and I call it something else. You know, you may have a tradition where you call it something else. You may call it spirit, guardian angel, your soul, or Jesus, or whatever it is. But there is that which speaks to us, isn't there? Have you ever had like an intuition about something? And I used to drive back and forth to Seattle when I was in ministry school. I'd go up on Monday, usually come back on Friday, unless there was a seminar on Saturday, and I'd come back, and a lot of times I was driving home at night. So it was a 4-hour drive. And so I'd get tired, and I would pull over to the rest stops, and sleep. And that worked really well. And one night I pulled over, and there was just something and it said, don't stop here. And what I have learned, guys, I early in my life, a tendency is like, oh, that's just my imagination. Have you ever done that? Where it's just my imagination, where you definitely heard something or felt something? Listen to it. I don't know, but I left. And I've had that experience driving a couple other times because I love to drive. I love to go places. But it's more than that. And I only can tell you my personal experience, but I have come to know that this is absolutely true. And only you can figure out if it's true for you. But when I was in college, it was after Christmas, and I went to college in Montana, and I was living in Idaho. So drive through the rural backwoods up to school. And it was a funny winter, there was no snow. So, and Montana in those days had no speed limit. And so I abided by that no rule. And I was doing just fine. There was no snow on the road. The one thing I hadn't learned at that time is that some corners can be icy, particularly when they're in the shade. So I must have been going 85 miles an hour, hit this ice on this corner, and the car went whoo, and it hit a guy wire. And for those of you who don't know what a guy wire is, I look it up, because it's a wire on a power pole, a tension steel cable, anchored to the ground, designed to support, secure, and stabilize the pole against heavy wind loads or the pull of power lines, and in this case, my car. So I hit this guy wire, which prevented me from hitting the utility pole. It kind of broke the guy wire, but it bounced. It had some tension. Prevented me from rolling over in the fields, because these are big farms. And there were no seat belts, of course, in those days. So I wasn't hurt. The front part of my car was hurt. My axles were broken. But I wasn't hurt, so I opened the door and got out. And, you know, in that country, I was thinking about their big farms, big ranches, far apart. But as it turned out, and of course there were no cell phones in those days, and I had nice heels on my boots, I could have walked a long ways. But as it turned out, there was a farmhouse right there with the most adorable couple. And of course, I don't know what they thought, but they were so kind, and they called the tow truck in this small town and took care of my car and all that. And I called Paul, who I just started dating, to come rescue me. And I just thought, you know, wow, he got to be a hero right early in this relationship. He got to rescue me. That must have been so profound for him. He hasn't told me that, but I can only imagine. And so you might be thinking, you stupid girl, what is the wake-up call? You're going to slow down. Some of you might be thinking that. But there's more to this story for me. Because like I said, we have to all understand our own story. So many years later, I have 3 children. And I got more in touch with this voice. Now, I had no tradition. I had already left all the traditions I had grown up in. I didn't have one. I hadn't discovered New Thought yet. But that doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you have anything. It's always with you. And I literally heard this voice say to me, because we had a boy and a girl, and we weren't planning on having another one. It said, and she's still bossing me around, by the way, but it said, you're to have a 3rd child. It was clear as anything. So I did not doubt it. And of course, she's been a light of my life. But I believe, see, the way I look back and scan everything, and I do this, you look back on your experiences, and they're like a puzzle piece. And I thought to myself, of course I couldn't die in a car wreck, because I had to give these children life, because they had a purpose. And there's something, I swear to God, this force is so busy in my life, because as a young person, I just had adventures all over the place. And everything always turned out right, and I thought, someday I'm going to die, and they're going to say, you were a lot of trouble. But there is that within us that is always for and with us. And that's the other part of this. You know, we can have the wake-up calls, but we can also pay attention to where Spirit has been with us, helped us, and guided us, and rescued us. And so I put all these pieces together like a puzzle. And a picture begins to emerge. And I invite you to do that too, to get some quiet time. Sit down with a pen and pencil. And look at the puzzles in your life, and I promise you something will be revealed. You will see the activity of this soul, this benevolent presence, this Spirit, this Jesus in your life. There's a wisdom teaching in Matthew. Matthew was Jewish, and he used all the parables were originally Jewish wisdom teachings, and they carried them on, and they're beautiful. But one that I really liked was the lilies of the field. And I used to say that to myself before I really, really got what I know, and I can't wait to find out right now what I don't know. But it's the lilies of the field. If God cares, and I'm using the language from the scriptures. So, if God cares for the lilies of the field which grow without toil, are arrayed more beautifully than Solomon, and exist only briefly, he will certainly care for humans. Therefore, one should not worry about daily needs, but seek the kingdom. Seek first the kingdom, and all else will be added. Seek first. So Holmes said, what is keeping us in bondage and from our good and from our joy is simply ignorance. And whatever is happening in our life, and we may not understand it, we may never understand it, or it will become very clear, like my dream. But there are things happening for you, wake-up calls, we call them. Seeking to awaken each one of us to a greater realization of how this works, how this universe works, how the ultimate greater reality works. And it is for us. It is for us. But there is so much we don't know. And I think that there are easier ways than wake-up calls. And that's one of the things that, when we do classes and we learn all that, hopefully we will begin to awaken more easily without that jingling alarm going off. So, we are not alone, you guys. We are never alone. And I loved your music today because I so was able to not just know it, but to feel it. Thank you. And so I invite you to look at your life, that puzzle that is your life, the pieces that have all made it up, and see if you see something greater happening. And pay attention. Namaste.
Well, I appreciate the opportunity to let me play a banjo today. It's my first time playing a banjo.
More banjo.
Playing sacred banjo, we'll say. I get the opportunity to play sacred banjo too. So thank you all for having me here. I felt like I didn't need to say anything earlier to see if people just sang along and it worked, but that song we sang earlier was called Teach Your Children and it was written by Graham Nash. Anyways, this next song, related and not related, is a song written by my dad. My dad is also a musician and a folk church musician, and I learned a lot with him. And this was a song that he wrote when my youngest brother was born, and it's called the Alleluia Lullaby, with a few adapted lyrics. But yeah, and in the spirit of Julie's, bringing it all back home and seeing how these things all fall together, this was a song that he wrote for my little brother, and now I get to sing it for my babies. I hatred, suffering, and greed. Beside you, each of us is the love that everyone needs. Ah, la, 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 hallelujah. La, 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 la. Your holy family blesses you. So sleep, don't you cry. Sleep, don't you cry.
Wow, that's beautiful. Much gratitude to your father. And I love the banjo. Do you guys not love the banjo? Yeah. So now is the time in our service for Tori. So I invite you to, to just think about what it is that you are called upon to participate in this community and in the spiritual home that you have here. So we have an offertory affirmation in our bulletin. Say it with me. Divine love moving in and through me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. Thank you, God.
Grass ends up greener where you water it. Won't be fruit from seeds you haven't sown. Grass ends up greener where you water it. Now's the time to let your garden grow. Yeah, the grass that ends up greener where you water it. Won't be fruit from seeds you haven't sown. Grass ends up greener where you water it. Oh, now's the time to let your garden grow. And now's the time to let your garden grow.
You can just put up on the altar. Yeah, so join with me in deep gratitude and to think of all the blessings that you have today. To think of everything in your life, because what we know, what we are grateful for multiplies. And so I am just so grateful for each one of you, for everyone that is part of this community, for the support of this community, for the finances of this community. And in addition to that, I want to add a prayer this morning for peace. For peace in our world, for lack of suffering of all the individual human beings that we inflict on each other, that we may grow in wisdom and love for each other, knowing that there is always enough. There is always enough. It is not necessary to take from another to have more. There is always enough. And so what we know here is that there is an infinite supply. And as we allow ourselves to become closer to the source of that supply, that oneness, that divine presence, it can open up and flow into us in amazing ways. So I invite and hold that for each one here. And I just say in deep gratitude, and so it is. So let us stand and say our prayer of protection and then our peace song together. Yes, sir.
Tomorrow is Reverend Don's birthday. Maybe we could sing happy birthday.
To Reverend Don? Are you listening, Reverend Don? Okay, here we go. 88? Okay, wow.
We got a banjo here. Happy
Birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Reverend Don. Happy birthday to you. Yeah. And we can't wait till you're back again. So, all right, our prayer protection. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well.